Okay, we're going to dive into part 2. So, let's get up to speed by first talking about the tools that we're going to be using in this class. Now, if you took part 1, which most of you probably did, if you then you'll be familiar with the tools that I'm going to talk about. Although I'm going to talk about a few more tools this time because we're a little bit more advanced. So let's talk about some other things you can use. If you didn't take part 1, I highly recommend you do it because I'm going to pick right up where we left off after these couple little intro things. So please take part 1. This class will make a lot more sense if you take part 1. Okay, so let's talk about tools. The primary tool I'm going to be using in this class is Ableton Live. That's this program. Let's minimize this window. This is an audio sequencer. And MIDI sequencer, so we can put audio and MIDI stuff in like this to put together our track. We could also use notation editor like MuseScore. Now here's the thing about MuseScore. So this is a more traditional notation editor. We can see that here. So we can work in notes. The thing about MuseScore though is that I don't believe there's a way, or I haven't found a way, to sync a movie in MuseScore yet. Like you can't open a movie. I've looked through the forums on MuseScore, and it looks like it's a popular feature request, but it's not one that is currently available at the time of this filming. And I'm on MuseScore version 2.0.3. So if we're at a much higher version of that, then you can see if it's possible in your MuseScore, depending on when you're watching this. But right now it's not. So MuseScore can be good for looking at the notes of your project, but not great for actually working on your project because you can't import the film. That's going to be a little bit tricky. Your other options, if you want to work on notes, are Finale. Finale works the same as MuseScore in that you're looking at notes and working with notes, so you can adjust notes and things like that. But you can import a film into Finale and work that way. Now, I've worked on a project that I did in Finale once, and it was a headache. I have to say, it was a major headache because the film would keep falling out of sync from the score. Meaning that if I hit play from the beginning, the movie would start at the beginning, the score would start at the beginning, it was fine. But if I was a half hour in and I hit play on, bar 43 or whatever, the film would sometimes start in the right spot, but sometimes start in a different spot. And it was pretty random where it started. Phenomenally frustrating. So every time I had to check to see how my sync was lining up, I had to start the thing from the beginning. A 2-hour-long movie. I had to do it from the beginning every time. Anyway, so I would not recommend Finale if you're going to be working in traditional notes. Sibelius is another program that is a decent alternative. I haven't worked on a film in Sibelius, but I assume they've got it figured out. And there's a new kid on the block, a new notation editor called Dorico, which I just got. I haven't played around with it too much yet. This is a brand new program, notation editor from Steinberg. So Dorico is really new, but it's got a lot of potential. Hopefully it matures a little bit and becomes a really powerful program. But so I'm not going to work primarily in notation, just like in the first class. I'm going to work in Ableton, and then I'll move some stuff over to notation so that we can see the notes and what I've done there. But sometimes it's easier just to work in an audio sequencer for a project like this, since I'm mostly working in kind of loop-based things, which I'll talk about more in a second. Okay, that's kind of it for tools. Those are the main tools we're using. I'm also using an orchestra sample library. Not a fantastic one. I hear a lot of young composers talking about their orchestral sample libraries, and getting the biggest, most expensive ones. And I don't know, I should probably buy one, but I just use the Ableton orchestra library. It works fine. It doesn't sound the most amazing, but it doesn't sound bad. So I use that. But you can also, I mean, one of the really popular ones is East West, is a company that makes a orchestra library that a lot of people like. The LA Films, what is it called? LA Scoring Strings or something like that. The LA Philharmonic, I think, made it. Is another library that a lot of people like. These are really expensive, but you can buy them if you want, and set them up on your computer, make your orchestra samples sound a little bit better. Okay, that's it for tools.